manifesto for a meaningful life. There you go. Okay, like Dr. Chuck Ribley. No, Anne actually put this book together after her father had passed, and it's so key. Now, it's so key for chiropractors. Like it's like the essence of what chiropractic is really about, from above down, inside out. But it's actually, I'd say, excellent for anybody else too to actually explore that. And again, it's the program will be complimentary to child platform members. But here's how it looks like. So again, your innate essence of light coming through your heart, mind, and body. So the first principle to look at is inspiration. Now, I opened that up. There's a constant flow of inspiration from the being that we are. And then when our heart is in alignment there, it allows for an awakening. And you can say this point here, they talk about it in the Bible, the filter, the pitcher at the fountain in Ezekiel there. So it's the pitcher at the fountain where the awareness from your heart begins to dawn into your conscious mind. That's awakening. And then when that begins to awaken, and then there's a certain, you can say, a love current there, that when we're positioned that way, that we can't, otherwise, we can't do anything less than surrender to it, and learning how to surrender to it all the time. That takes practice. That takes like just turgor there to let that happen. And then when we continue to let that happen, you say in an increasingly way, we have a sense of purpose. Like we have gas in our gas tank to do what we need to do. We're overfilled to overflowing, and then we allow for magic to happen. And magic, according to the principle that Chuck laid out in the book there, it's allowing the unseen, you can say the undimensional world, the innate essence we are, to be filtered through our human capacities into the seen world. It's allowing for the unseen to be seen. And when that happens, magic it happens. That's where that unforeseen path occurs. And then we discover, you can say sometimes day by day, sometimes moment by moment, sometimes there's a more intense discovery, sometimes maybe not as much there. Again, being okay with the vacant times, but also being available for the discovery when it's starting to press through us. And then when that happens, the last chapter is called Empowered Action there, but I like to look at it in terms of intrinsic momentum. It's actually begins, the wheel begins to be turning within ourselves, that we just keep moving. We're being compelled, but actually being compelled in a way that's with grace and pace. So again, that is the essences there of the seven principles there, and we can talk a little bit more. Maybe Anne might have something to say when we complete, but let me just, Anne, while you're here, do you want to say a word or two about the book there?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, my father asked me to help him write a book, and this was in the spring of 2023, and we got together, we outlined it, and it was everything of what his life was about. And he lived with such purpose. And that purpose, even when we talk about the elder, that purpose always had a track, but it had many stages and phases of how it manifested and looked different in his life. But he was a chiropractor, he was the co founder of Life University. And we outlined the whole book. And then he unexpectedly passed a couple months later. And Life University was coming up to its 50th anniversary. And I just felt really compelled because they were doing a tribute to him. They were dedicating a building in his name called The Lasting Purpose. And I felt compelled that I needed to have this book ready for him, of what he outlined, of what he wanted to say. And the reason why it's so powerful is because we can talk about a meaningful life. We can talk about purpose. We in having these different principles, but this was literally how he lived his life. It's not like lofty ideals that he wrote down of this could be nice. It was literally the seven principles of how he lived his life. And everything about it was intentionally crafted. Just even the colors. This is the sunset of his life and the passing gift that he gave that of how he lived his life. And I just think it just gives it so much gravitas because it's not about these ideas. It's literally the principles that he lived with such purpose. And they had many shapes and seasons in which it from being a chiropractor to, doing self-development, personal development seminars to being a, chairman of the board at Life University. It just had many seasons. And I think this is what is so beautiful about this book is that it embraces wherever we're at. What is that season to live within that purpose, to live within our own unique expression of that for a meaningful life? And the last thing, I'll just say is he was iconic for saying the words, "You are the difference." And we're all making a difference. And we get to choose it. That's what he'd say. People, if you're, even if you do nothing, that's the difference you're choosing to make. So he was iconic for saying, "You are the difference." And so I'll just share what the manifesto was that summarizes everything that's in this book. That's everything of what it's about. Inspire the big idea. Awaken that something. Surrender to the process. You are here for great purpose. You are the magic. Start making discoveries. Share your gifts. Serve. You are the difference in the ripple of life.
Beautiful, Anne. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you're here tonight. There,
Yeah, thank you so much. What a beautiful group of people here. This was amazing. Yeah.
there is a sentence in that book I love that your dad was about is assume the task at hand.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to say, even when you were going through the slides about inspiration, is when you get into what really inspiration is, it's being in the spirit of you. It's really in tuning to what the real word of that means. It's being in the spirit of you. It's in the true spirit of what lights you up, what illuminates you, and allowing that alignment to be activated.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's always here for us. We're always a part of that every step of our life.
That's right. Yeah. I was so enamored when I saw the book there because like the big idea with chiropractic is that book, you
Yeah.
know? And like chiropractic's been lost to say just the physical realm where there's so much, it's such a bigger idea. And that book encapsulates that. That's why I felt compelled to touch in base with you. Like I got the book was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and then I went to the celebration for Dr. Weekman, who was the president of Life Universities. He passed away. They had a celebration for him, and then Anne happened to be there. I said, "Finally, I got to touch back in with her because to share my idea for this to expand on it." So
Yeah.
that's where this is unfolding in process. So the September sessions will be an expansion of each one of those principles and looking to see and experience how do we experience each one of those there.
Yeah, and just the last thing I want to share on that is this book. I had somebody who owned an insurance company, a big insurance company, and he had knew my dad as like a colleague and stuff. And he said to me, every year for my entire company, I always give a gift that means something to me, and I want to give this as the gift for Christmas to my entire company. And he said, the thing that struck me about knowing your dad as a colleague through all these years is he never lost the vision of seeing life as it could be and always lived in that. And it didn't matter, what age my dad passed at 83, but it was he still sustained that vision of seeing life as it could be.
He was a living expression of what he was about, wasn't he?
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. I still
Yeah.
learn to this day, from like just taking it all in. And it's all in this book of the whole principle and philosophy of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's a wonderful way to maybe close our time, unless someone else may have